I don't know about you guys, but this might be one of the craziest stories that I've seen in a long time because it's not every day that you hear about a sheriff who's not only friends with the judge but works with him, goes into his chamber and shoots him. In fact, I don't know if I've ever heard of this happening ever before. I'd have to actually look it up. But this is the tweet that I came across this morning. Woman balls in court as video footage of Kentucky Sheriff Sean Steins killing Judge Kevin Mullins is shown. Steins is accused of murdering his longtime friend after seeing something on his cell phone. New details revealed that after Mullins and Steins had lunch together, the pair met in the judge's office. I was told Sheriff Steins tried to call his daughter and tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also, Kentucky State Police Department Clayton Stamper said. Steins asked Mullins for his phone and reportedly tried calling his daughter. Just seconds after seeing the judge's phone, Steins got up and began shooting. Steins' daughter has been interviewed by police. When he was being arrested, Steins allegedly said, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid." Now, obviously, that's just a tweet, which is adding a lot of context to some of the stuff that happened, but you can never just trust a tweet. So I dug a little bit more, and I did find a clip from the courtroom where a sheriff does confirm pretty much everything that we just read in that tweet.
When he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid."
Sitting shackled with his attorney for his preliminary hearing, the last time former Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins was in a courtroom, investigators say he shot and killed Judge Kevin Mullins.
I have officers confirm that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone.
Yes.
The lead investigator testified, saying Steins and Mullins were alone in the judge's chambers after the two had lunch earlier that day.
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers?
The investigator says Steins took Mullins' phone and called his own daughter, whose number was in the judge's phone. He says Steins then shot the judge.
Sheriff Steins uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Steins' attorney argued that he should be charged with manslaughter.
I've heard nothing that indicates that this is not, an example of an extreme emotional disturbance relative to the phone.
But the judge agreed with the prosecutor there was enough probable cause for a murder charge.
Evidence presented in this court today is that the judge was intentionally shot and killed, shot multiple times by the sheriff, and there's probable cause to find the grand jury murder charge.
Yeah, I agree. This shit is a crazy situation, and I can't help but feel like there's got to be something under the surface level of him just walking in and shooting this judge, and I'm hoping that we find more out throughout the trial. In the meantime, I do want to go through a couple of theories that I had, but I want to say that before we dive into it, there is no evidence as of right now that Judge Mullen has done anything to his wife, his daughter, or anything deserving of the actions that happened. The man died, and I don't want to put a crime on his name unless it comes out that he actually committed it. But at the same time, I do want to have a discussion around the possibilities of what could be real, what might have led to this, and all that kind of stuff. So first and foremost, I can't write off the possibility that this man just has mental health issues and that nobody's after his wife, nobody's after his daughter, and he just believes this in his head, and so he felt the need to protect them. Now, dealing with someone that I've helped with mental health issues over the years, there was a period where they went through paranoid schizophrenia. They thought the FBI was after them. They thought people were coming to get them. Everybody that they saw in public, they're like, I've seen him before. He's after me. She's after, like they were so convinced, and there was nothing you can do to tell them otherwise. And I've seen this in a few different people before. I want to say that it happened with Tony Ferguson, who was a UFC fighter. There was a period of time where he thought that he was being spied on by like the CIA, the FBI or something, and he kept making comments about it. But then eventually he got violent. He started to tear down walls in his house. He was looking for cameras. There was a whole lot of shit that went down with that. And then one that actually also hit a little bit closer to home was Chandler Jones, who I haven't spoken to in years, but we grew up together. I grew up with the Jones brothers. And for those of you guys that follow football and maybe have followed him on social media, he was wilding for a while. He was on Twitter, Instagram stories. He's talking about how there's plots and plans to kidnap people's wives and children, and it goes as deep as the coaches of the teams. And like, he was saying some wild shit. Now he's off social media right now, and I'm pretty sure he's been with his family and he's been getting help and stuff like that. Now, in all of these situations, these people didn't just immediately get violent. I don't think Chandler ever got violent. I do actually, I take it back. I think that he did have like a domestic charge, but a lot of it is them speaking about things happening over and over and over, and then eventually it escalates to violence. Now, that doesn't happen every single time. There's a lot of people that have dealt with paranoid schizophrenia that don't go down that path. But there's a possibility that that's what this guy was dealing with. Maybe he had this feeling that somebody's after his family and he felt like he needed to protect them. And so he ended up shooting the judge. But I do think that there would be some kind of like a timeline. Like people would be able to say, hey, he talked about this last week. Hey, last month he mentioned something weird about this or that. And if that doesn't come out, then I don't necessarily think that it has anything to do with mental health issues. But I do feel like it's worth mentioning because that is a possibility. Now, another possibility is that maybe the judge was sleeping with his wife. Maybe by taking my wife and my daughter, he meant like he's taking my family. He's sleeping with my wife. She's going to leave me. We haven't been good lately. I found out that it was him, and seeing their numbers in his phone, I decided to just go and act on it. That is also a possibility. Now, the third possibility is probably the furthest reach, but it's not impossible because we've seen it happen again and again. We got the Diddy situation going on right now. We had the island guy situation, which I don't say his name, but we all know exactly who I'm talking about. But it is possible that there was something going on, whether it was a ring, whether it was just a few buddies that did some weird shit and he seemed to know about it. And then all of a sudden saw that his daughter's name was in the judge's phone and figured that meant that she was now at risk, or he knew some other things behind the scenes before he went and checked out his phone. That's all possible because there was a case back in 2021 where there was a deputy that was under the sheriff that was sleeping with a woman for, I think, around 7 months in the judge's chambers at night because he claimed there was no camera in there, which there is now. So I don't know if that's the reason why they added a camera. But he was doing this for 7 months, basically taking advantage of this woman, telling her that we'll work something out with your house arrest if you come and do this for me. And he got in trouble for it. Now, the fact that it was happening in the judge's chambers, I feel like you can look at that as being a little bit weird, but I'm thinking that a lot more shit is going to come out from this. I even came across a couple of tweets, which obviously I can't confirm. This is just random people on the internet talking, but these two tweets were very interesting, at least enough that I felt like talking about it in this video, and they talked about rumors and potential conspiracies that people have talked about in that area. So all in all, I really don't know. With everything going on with Diddy, with the island guy, it's not hard to believe that some shit like this would go on because people do tend to abuse their power. At the same time, I don't necessarily want to throw shade at this man because he did lose his life. My condolences to his family. We don't know that he was involved in anything. He may have been a completely great guy and just unfortunately had this situation happen to him. So until more comes out, we can't just judge him. We can't, we just got to kind of look at it and just wait for what's going to happen next. And I assume we will get some more information. And if some crazy stuff comes out, or if not, I will cover this again and we'll talk a little bit more about it. But this was a really interesting one that I came across today, and I thought that it might be something you guys might want to know about. So let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. I will catch you in the next one, homies.
I don't care about a struggle. I've been asking for a fight. I need adversity to thrive. I'm trying to crash before the flight. I got a lot of people doubting me. That's just been my life. So I learned to persevere and not react to what they type. It's been a long road coming. That's just what they write. But it's been feeling like it's real, so I've been asking for my light. Trying to shine until I can. If you ask me, I go twice. But I've been stuck in back the line trying to imagine what it's like. Come on.